Hi, and welcome to another session with the Butterfly Transformational Experience Group. My name is Fola Falabi, Self-Confidence Coach, licensed MSW. And the motto of the group is when you know better, you do better. And if you're watching a replay of this video, please comment below replay. Today's topic is I avoid compromising my morals when I'm facing challenges. Life is full of up and down and yet fulfilling at the same time. It depends on the pathway that the individual chooses to follow. Being on the chosen pathway does not mean that the individual life is void of challenges. As you often hear me say, when life gives you lemon, you make the sweetest lemonade. It is from these obstacles that we obtain our experience, and that's how we become our better self. And the way I'm going to apply this topic is comparing putting this topic in how to make um decisions in a difficult time, making using your morals and your values in making difficult decisions. And how often do we make decisions based on our morals or values? How often do we do that? Do you do that on a daily basis, or is it only certain times? And is your moral based on your spirituality or your religious beliefs? I mean, there's so many factors that comes into when people think about morals or even values. When I was researching these terms, I mean, I come to find out that certain things meant different things that I thought meant the same. I thought that morals and values were actually the same. As you know, with all of my videos, I like to provide a definitions of the terms that are being discussed. So let me give you the definition of morals. Morals are principles or guidelines that governs behavior and help individuals differentiate between right and wrong. And value are your personal beliefs or priority that guides decisions making and shapes an individual perceptions of what is important in life. You know what the difference between moral and value is? Is that moral is a learned characteristic based on society norm or cultural settings, whereas values are your own personal belief or priority that guides your decision making and shapes an individual perception of what is important in life. So now you see where there is a difference between moral and values. That's why I like to give definition of the terms that I discuss in my video so everybody will be on the same wavelength. I don't like to talk and about situation and where everybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about. So I like to give definition. So even when I was doing this topic, I was surprised to learn that values and morals meant two different things. Okay, so basically, in simple terms, morals are standards of an individual behavior or principle of belief to judge what is right or wrong that is developed and governed by societal settings. Whereas values, on the other hand, is not learned from societal setting, is based on an individual beliefs, way of life. So values is means your personal belief, whereas moral is based on your moral setting, and there's nothing wrong with either one of them. So how often do you make do you make a decision based on your moral, and how do you compromise your values or morals when making decisions? So that's the question at hand. But to help you with this topic, I have put together several guidelines in what we can do in making decisions, especially in difficult times. So where we don't compromise our morals. Okay, you don't compromise your morals or your challenge or your values. So you don't have to. This guideline is to be able to help you, and and you can use it on a daily basis, because we'll make decisions on a daily basis. And um life is not the same no more from 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, even 30 years ago. Life is not the same. So every day we're making decisions that will, where that might, that will put your moral into place. There's certain things that happen in the world now where people are trying to manipulate you, manipulate you into going with the flow. And you have to be able to basically have your own belief system, or else you'll be just sucked up into the way of the world. So let me just go over these few guidelines to help you when making decisions so that you will not have to compromise your value, or your morals. The first thing is you got to take accountability. Take accountability of everything that you do. Identify what is at hand and why is there a need to make a decision, or is it going to come into play, or come into a play with regarding your values. So when you look at what is at hand, why is there a need to make a decision? Take your time before you make a decision. Take your time, but don't procrastinate in where you're trying to avoid in making a decision that that might compromise your values or your morals. So you have to take your time in making your decisions. Okay, the object is not to go against your morals and your values. Okay, you have to stand for something. You have to get others' input from other individuals, mentor, trusted colleague. You'll be surprised what a fresh eyes can do to your decision making. And it makes the process much easier. But also keep in mind, not everybody you can talk to. You can't talk with everyone. So there's some people that they're not, they might be 60 or even 70 years old, but they don't have no common sense in their brain. So I don't want you to talk to the person because you feel that they're older than you, or even the age 65, or they do not have life experience, and they might not even experience life the way you experience it. So you have to be very, very careful on who you choose to put into that title as a trusted colleague or a friend, or you can talk about your problems with. You got to keep an open mind. Keep an open mind, because that makes life much easier. And weigh the pros and cons of the decision that you're going to make. Research every angle. Look at the goal. What are the goals? What is the things that's going to take place? What might happen? And are you also comfortable with the after effect or the fallout regarding your decisions? There's certain things, like everybody is so politically correct, and not everything does not have to be politically correct. You have to be able to stand for something. You have to be able to stand for something. You have to trust your instinct, because what might fly today is not always going to fly tomorrow. But at least your values and your morals are intact, because the world is very, very flimsy. So with these simple guidelines that I just given to you, this should be able to assist you in making decisions when that will not compromise your values or your moral ethics. I didn't even go into ethics. Even ethics is totally different from morals and values. So these are things that will come into play, especially in the world today, especially with being politically correct, where everybody gets offended for any little simple things. But if you have your guidelines and your belief and your core belief, you should be able to withstand anything. And the guidelines that I just provided for you gives you the basis for you to be able to stand strong in your decision making that won't compromise your values or your moral system. And the thing that you are not supposed to do. So even though I gave you guidelines of what you should do with making decisions that won't compromise your morals or your values, these are the things that you're not supposed to do. Okay? When you're making this decision, do not make a decision in the twinkle of an eye. If something happens today, do not make a decision in a minute. Okay? You will end up regretting decision. You will end up hurting yourself. Overthinking this is the problem. It's a no-no. Sometimes we take the urge, and we want to follow the urge, and we're like, oh, I'm gonna look for a perfect answer to the decision, or looking for a perfect decision to the task at hand. There's no such thing as a perfect decision. Okay, I just wanted to let you know. I don't want to bust your bubbles, but unfortunately, there's no such thing as a perfect decision. It's from our mistakes that we learn and we become our better self. Okay, the purpose of this group is for us to learn. And if we don't make mistakes, we won't be able to learn. How are we supposed to become our better self if we don't make our mistakes? Okay, so, and making decisions based on raw emotion. This is an absolute no-no. Decision made on raw emotion has led to so many individuals' downfall. You cannot, I know you hear people saying don't, when people would get angry, road rage. When people get so angry, they want to fight. And then at the end of the day, some people end up being in jail. Some people have lost their life due to road rage. This is what I'm saying. Do not make swift decisions based on raw emotion. You are going to end up hurting yourself. This has led to so many downfall. Countries have lost wars, gone into war because of making decisions based on raw emotion. You got to take your time, please. And failure to deal with reality. This is another one. It's failure to deal with reality. Accept what is being placed before you. Okay? Don't try to change the situation. If something like what I'm trying to say is you're being faced with an eviction, and yet you're trying to overlook the eviction, saying that it's not going to happen. No. Look for steps for you to how to prevent the eviction, but by you disregarding what is actually being presented before you, you're only deceiving yourself. Or when your doctor tells you to follow this, and you say, no, I don't have to listen to you, I will take my supplements. No, that's no. You have to listen to what your doctor is saying, and then you take your supplements. You find a way to combine it. But just don't disregard what is being placed before you, and then you think, oh, I don't have to listen to the doctor. I don't have to listen to the notice. You're only deceiving yourself. And another step is, please do not follow other people's footsteps. Just because they have success in doing the same things that you're trying to do does not mean it's always going to come out favorable for you. I'm going to use 2020. That's the time when we were all home and we were staying home, and there was such a big thing with cryptocurrency where everybody got involved. When I say everybody and their mama got involved. And what happened is that we end up losing money at the end of the day. So anything for me that has to do with financial greed, I have to pat myself and say, nope, I'm not doing it, because at the end of the day, I end up losing money. messing around with, Facebook groups and listening to other people telling me about the cryptocurrency. I lost money. But, I lost money, but there's some people that lost their life savings because they put their hope on what they were following other people's footsteps. Lost their whole entire retirement savings. There were some people that was just about to retire. And bam, in the twinkle of an eye, everything disappeared. And don't make decisions based on your previous patterns. Every problem has a different outcome. So what might work in the past might not work today. So even when, so these are some of the guidelines that we should all take in when making decisions that won't compromise our values or moral system. Okay, so I'm just giving you simple guidelines. And like I said before, not thoroughly researching this decision and being closed-minded, not willing to adapt to changes, is going to be a recipe for your downfall. You are going to fail if you are closed-minded. You are not going to succeed in anything that you do in this life if you're closed-minded and you're not willing to adapt to changes. You are going to end up hurting yourself. And this world is changing at a drastic rate, very, very rapid rate, and you have to keep up with the times. You got to be open-minded. You have to be willing to push yourself to learn about different techniques or even little things. I tell my other the clients that I work with on the job that you gotta do stuff on the daily, but you have to learn how to do stuff, and thank God for YouTube. YouTube is the best university in the world, the free university. Learn so many things. So, and that is it for today. Until I see you next time. Hopefully I will be back in 2 weeks. And happy new month, everyone. Happy new month. This is November 4th, I believe, and happy new month. And before you know it, it'll be the end of the year, and then we'll be in 2024. So, and also be grateful for every little thing that you have in this world. We thank God for life. Every day is a new opportunity, and you have to be grateful. Be grateful in every little thing that you do. Because once you're grateful, life is much simpler. You see things in a different light. My world has changed since starting this group and working within myself. So I also use these guidelines as well. So not only am I presenting it to you, I also use it as well. So anyway, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach me via Facebook or folascreativecoaching.com or send me an email. Send me an email and then I'll reach out to you. Send me a DM and I'll reach out to you. My program is an excellent program because it helps you transform yourself to the best individual that you can be. The best individual that you can be. And you have to be able to strive to be your better self. And that's what this group is all about. Striving to be your better self. And until the next time, and if you want to reach out and do a session with me or even do a video with me, and you can present a class, I welcome the opportunity. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you next time at the same back channel. Okay? Bye.